Kingmaker. Kingmaker. We got the legendary MC, the one and only Xzibit, Liquid Crew. It's in the building, Kingmaker. That's from his new album.
Yeah, man.
Played at my funeral.
Played this at my funeral. That's how we kick it. That's how we kick the whole album off, man. Crazy.
Played this at my funeral. Xzibit said, I got my camera here, guys.
Yeah.
The difference between this album and other albums that you made in the past, Kingmaker, is that in the past, you were making music and creating with doubt.
Yes.
What did you doubt?
You don't know. I think everybody has anxiety when it comes to feeling accepted.
Okay.
In a world where there's so many options in hip hop at the time, it's so diverse. Everybody was trying to make it, right? But in music, you don't know you made it until you made it, right? So I didn't realize what was happening. You know, the confidence didn't build. I had a certain amount of confidence because it was built off the skill of what we were doing and you know, live performances. But once you grow into your sound and you grow into and you can use your instrument in a way that is effortless, you know. And now I'm deep diving on what I'm actually saying, you know, and the messaging and telling the truth about my circumstances and feeling comfortable with that. You know, saying things for shock value isn't where I'm at right now. You know, this is about a transfer of information. This is about the keys to my kingdom, and you can do with it what you will. Speaking from that is what empowers me now. You know, I'm doing music because I love it, not because I have to. Yeah. Because I feel like I owe my fans this record. They deserve to see me in my best form. They deserve to see me at my healthiest. They deserve to see me, you know, in this place. I don't think I've been this album to me. I made this for me first, and it's the only album that I've ever done that from the first note to the last, it's exactly the way I want it. Exactly the way I want it. And I can't wait to go out there and give them this version of me, you know?
Xzibit, man, I love it.
Yeah.
You said that you now know what you want to say, how you want to say it, and who you want to say it to.
Oh, yeah.
Who are those people?
What I want to say is stop giving a fuck what people think about you and do what you need to do and live in your planet, run your race. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. You don't know what your future has in front of you. The people I need to say this to are the people that really love lyricism. They love hip hop. They don't care about the semantics that go along with the WWE type stuff that goes on around an artist. This is about, you know, music and how we communicate. I only learned about I knew what was going on in New York because and how people dressed in the slang because I listened to the music. I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we communicated. Though I knew what was happening. I could put myself in that place because the music took me there. We got away from that somewhere. You know, that's what attracted me to making music. So and lastly, you know, how I'm supposed to be saying it, I just need to tell the truth.
You just need to tell the truth.
Just tell the truth.
Well, you ever lying?
No, it's not. It's not like that.
Yeah,
it's not like that. But I mean, we come from a place where, you know, battle rapping is, you know, you saying all kinds of wild shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's not like necessarily, oh, I'm not telling the truth. Yeah, I'll do some wild shit, but this is not time for that. In 2025, there's no shortage of fluff music. There's no shortage of mismessaging. There's no shortage of bullshit out there. And it's like drinking from a fire hose because, you know, any idiot with Wi-Fi can call himself an artist and put some shit up and then get in the way of a real artist. Yeah. You know, I think those lines have been blurred. So now I think because it's been going on so long, the crowd is kind of the audience is starting to wisen up, and now I feel like they're going for authenticity. You know, when you look at the David and Goliath thing that just happened between Drake and Kendrick, and how that played out. You know, both phenomenal artists. But I think that people saw a real lesson. This is not about a popularity contest. This is not about about records sold and all that. I mean, both of them are selling tremendous amount of units, but the focus is different. The skill, not being dismissive of Drake. You know what I'm saying? But the skill is what I'm most attracted to, right? And so when you look at pop records, it's same struggle that we had back in the day.
Right?
It was like okay, yeah, but he's dope, but he ain't this because this sold this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that age-old argument is starting to kind of boil itself out, and so now I think hip hop has grown to a place where we need subdivisions in hip hop. There needs to be adult contemporary hip hop. There needs to be rage hip hop. There needs to be alternative hip hop. There needs to be different categories because it's expanded to the point now where you can't lump all these one people into one thing and just call it that.
Yeah.
Because it's different people listening to different things. It's taking leaps and bounds. There's rock music that has been merged into hip hop. There's country music that has been merged into hip hop. So we experiencing growing pains for a 50-year-old genre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and
growing
yeah,
pains,
yeah.
huh?
But that's why it's so exciting now.
Yeah.
Because now there's no set path. You don't have to go through a chain of command. You can kind of get to your fans the way you need to.
Yeah.
That's why it's exciting for me to drop the record now and use those things I was talking about.
This is Xzibit, man. Round of applause for this guy. Play this at my funeral.
Yeah.
You shout out Raz and Saafir.
Yeah.
Raz, Kass, and Saafir from Hopewell Junction.
Yes.
Bay Area guy, Raz, Kass from Carson, and yourself. There's been this mythological anticipation of there was at least of Raz, you and Saafir putting out an album with the group Golden State, right? What happened?
Okay. All right, so
Tell the truth, X.
I'm gonna tell the truth.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell the truth. That's all. that's my brand right now.
This was big, Heather. I don't think this was like
Yeah.
three juggernauts coming together that represented
like how Jay-Z and X and
Yes.
Ja Rule was
Same.
murdered. Okay.
that was the West Coast anticipation
okay.
version of that,
Okay.
right? And that never happened. But go ahead.
Okay. So, everything was popping off. We had just did the Multiply video. Loud Records and everybody was excited about what was happening with my career. They gave me a bunch of money. They said I was like, listen, I before I do this next Xzibit record, I want to do a Golden State record. And so they was like all for it. Raz, me, and Saafir. We were all on separate labels. Saafir was on Quest? I think it was Quest,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And Saafir and Raz was on Priority, and I was on Loud. Now Raz was having difficulties with Priority, and so when the deal came to the table, Priority wanted to take 20% of Raz's earnings from the group. Raz immediately had a problem with that. And he was like, you motherfuckers don't do shit for my records, and now you want to come over here that has nothing to do with you, and you want to take from something that you don't have any rights to. And so that became the thing. That's when he was like taking off and writing "slave" on his face. And, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Prince. You know what I'm saying?
I love Raz.
And that's when he went to the East Coast, and he stole the hard drives out of the studio, and he was just at war with Priority.
Yeah.
So he never signed a contract. So I was trying to work through that until I just got pressed because they had given me that money.
Yeah.
And it was like, you got to produce something. So I had to do another Xzibit record.
Okay.
Right. And so it just, and then from there it was just like, it just kind of dissipated from there.
Okay.
Right. But we did. But I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
And I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it to you because in front of everyone, the world.
Okay.
When Saafir passed, me and Raz got to go up there, and we got to be in the room with all three of us. Were in the room with Sonny, Chop Black, shout out Chop Black. So we were in there, and we it's tears, it's trying to say goodbye, it's difficult, And we're in this room, and his son, Saafir's son came, and it was just family, right? Then he passed, and then we kind of went out. We it was good to connect with everyone. Then I came home and I was thinking about it, and we were working on the deluxe version of Kingmaker. And my son Tremaine, my son was like, he's like, oh, you gonna get this feature from this guy, from this guy? He's like, Dad, I don't want to hear that. Where's you, Raz, and Saafir? Where is that? Like, where is that song? And I was like, I got something, but then it hit me. I was like, you know what? I called Chop and I called Lil Saafir, and turns out he has a whole album completed that he didn't put out.
Reggie? Saafir?
Like, Saafir. So they're gonna give us that record. We're gonna strip down the vocals, and I already talked to Raz. We're gonna do the Golden State album right now. Yeah, and
Oh my God.
Wow.
and we're gonna do it, and I want nothing from it. I'm gonna give it my my portion to my son.
Okay.
Kass has 2 boys that's in Coast Contra.
They're incredible.
They're incredible. They're gonna be involved.
Yeah.
Saafir's good. Lil Saafir is going to be involved, and really, I just want to build that and give that back to not only the community, and the culture, but for us. You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
to honor Saafir.
Yeah, to honor him. The world could be a cold place, but we found a spot for each other. And we found that we sparked off each other with nobody. Well, we weren't in cliques and groups and all that stuff. Yeah, I was part of the Liquid crew, but I've always wanted to be in a group. And so when we all came together, it was just so dope, because Plastic Surgery was really the first time we actually got down. I was a huge fan of Saafir.
Yeah.
The first thing I heard from him was the Battle Drill.
Battle Drill.
And I was like, what? How does he? I've never heard that kind of flow. It's very abstract, and that's when I was like, oh, when I met him, it just clicked. You know what I'm saying? So when we got together and we didn't get to do that, that's one of those things that I wish could have happened in the moment. But now the way I feel and my priorities are different. We need to do that not only for Saafir, but for ourselves. We got to push that across the line.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man. Man, thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
Xzibit, man. That was the age-old question, man. Whatever happened, and people would look at me and Tech like we had something to do with it.
Yeah, no, but it's coming though. It's weird that we're talking about that, because literally we've been dealing with this for the last 2 weeks. Like, is everybody on board to do this? And everybody's on board to do it. So that's gonna happen. Yeah,
I love that, man. Xzibit is here, and then for those who don't know, we met through the Wake Up Show.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna revisit that. X, you said some beautiful
Come
shit.
on,
earlier, okay? And a lot of times with me, because I don't talk about the history, I just want people to dig it up and find it for themselves, and then you find out how many ways we've been connected to culture, right? When we first came to L.A., King Tech and I, we started visiting the idea around 93, 94, and then made a business deal with Clear Channel, which is now iHeart, I believe, to syndicate our show and come down there, right? And we were coming down there hitting the ground running. Like, we came down there full sprint. We was like Michael Johnson, HB. You know who that is, right?
Don't do that. He knows that I know, X.
But there were other folks, like, shout out to Chalk and C minus, shout out to Mike Nardone, and King M, shout out to Easy E, Julio G, Ruthless Radio, shout out to the Baker Boys, Big Boy, all these folks were in LA, and here come these Bay Area dudes, right? What did you think? Like, what was the perception back then of what the Wake Up Show was coming to do?
What you got to understand is, at the time in Los Angeles, there wasn't a lot of places to be seen and heard unless you were backed by a label. The Wake Up Show provided a place for people that had a certain skill set, that were respected in the region, in the area, that were making a name for themselves. So when you made it to the Wake Up Show, you first of all, you had to be invited, and when you were on the Wake Up Show, it was your time to shine. It was pre-internet. There was there was only a few places that you can get heard, and so when you came up to Tech and Sway, You better have your bars ready,
Mm-hmm.
and just know that it's gladiator school. You know, you're gonna go up there with a whole bunch of other people that that respectfully are gonna do the same thing you do, but you there to take somebody's face off.
Yeah.
And we had to do it clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Curse.
Yeah, we had to do it clean. So you had to be prepared for these things, and you couldn't just hop on live or hop on IG or wherever you're doing, or TikTok or whatever, and be seen by millions of people. So it was either Unity, Project Blowed, The Good Life, or The Wake Up Show. All these other shows that were happening, but The Wake Up Show was the place where you're gonna hear bars.
Yeah.
And so that's where we cut our teeth. It was like a badge of honor to be on The Wake Up Show and to be around all these other MCs, like Chino Excel, what I'm saying?
Rest in power to Chino Excel.
Like all these names that made their way into the game through your gate that you built for us. You and Tech, that was it. You know what I'm saying? That was the way that we got on in LA. If you was on the Wake Up Show and you burned it down, it was like they talked about that for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was big. Carmelita, shout out to Carmelita. Shout out to DJ Revolution.
Yeah.
We had a whole squad, and we weren't easy, man.
No.
You came in there and you kicked a mediocre verse.
Yeah.
I used to get mad, like, that's you think you could do better than that,
And we heard it too.
Yeah.
And when it was blood in the water,
yeah.
I mean, when somebody falling off, we immediately cut them off and then just start going.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah. You could smell when somebody falling off, like, let me get this. You know what I'm saying? We kept it going.
Do you remember the first time you came up?
The first time I came
what
up.
was the time you came up that you remember most?
Man, I don't know. I was just happy to go there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like an ongoing thing. Like we would come up and
came up a lot.
Yeah, I came up a lot. Yeah. But that was the thing. Like that's all we did is drink 40s, smoke weed, and rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And get prepared for the Wake Up Show in Unity. That was what we did.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
This is Xzibit.
Corruption and scandal. Expose fake niggas like open-toe sandals.
Open-toe sandals. Leroy Soprano. Welcome to the underworld.
Take back like the Jerry Curl.
Like the Jerry Curl. Bring who you bring it.
I be your old rapper with a style like the Equalizer.
Equalizer.
Raspy the analyzer. Come to open bar. Small fry. Let me
supersize you.
Fatigue set in. If you play the game, then
if you play the game, the play you play to win.
Say it twice and run for your life or get robbed for your
platinum and nights. Sleep in the night.
For the mic, the overhead writing. Sight so bright like the height of a satellite. Make niggas have to write. Night ride like Michael Knight.
Right,
Taking
like
bitches
Michael
hearts like an Aztec sacrifice.
Woo! Come on, man. We got Xzibit up in here. Come on, man.
Man.
Had to take them
That's
back
crazy.
with that, man.
That's crazy.
That was crazy,
man.
Man.
You can hear you can hear my voice. The backwoods hadn't got in there yet.
Really pristine and clean there. Actually, I was like, it sounded like a young guy.
Fresh lungs.
We got a chance, man. We were very fortunate, and now I am talking to me and Tech because we were always we had these visions, man, way ahead of the game, and we always wanted to really. We could play everybody. Anybody who was popular at that time would come by the show, but we always wanted to highlight you guys, right? And so when we did this song called The Anthem, it was like calling together the Avengers, right? You know, we called on everybody that we thought was dope and that represented the show, and that included RZA, Tech Nine, a young Tech Nine, Eminem,
Pharoah Monch,
J.O. Felony, Chino Excel, Cool G Rap, KRS-One, and Xzibit.
Yeah, man.
Man, we had everybody together for that one video.
Yeah.
You remember that time?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. I had the dogs, and I had on the jacket with the. It was crazy, man.
It was crazy, right?
It was crazy, yeah.
We had our dog Bolo. We had Xzibit holding our dog Bolo. And we felt like Bolo and Xzibit kind of, they resembled each other.
Well, thanks, Sway. Thanks, Sway. Thank you.
Yo, but that was one of the first videos of its kind, right? And then your star really started to grow. And you talk about how Snoop introduced you to Dr. Dre, right? Let's revisit that now that my
Okay, yeah.
you know, at that time that Snoop brought you to Dr. Dre, he was with Master P.
Yes, he was working on the No Limit Top Dog record, and I got the call, and he was like, I want to do a song with you, but Dre gonna do the beat, but he in the studio now, going over there. I went to the studio, he was in there alone. He was like, we introduced. It was my first time meeting him, and he was like, yo, you got something for this? Put the beat on, is bitch please. I wrote it 15 minutes, and then I was out. And I thanked him for the opportunity, simply because, like, I'm not going to stay there and wear on my welcome. I'm not going to be like, hey, man, check out this verse or check out this music or put me on. I was just thankful for it. And I believe that was what he appreciated that, because he gets hit with so much shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's refreshing when somebody could be professional and handle it, right? So I got a call back. Once it came out and did well as a single, Snoop called and was like, yo, Nate jumped on it. We're going to put it out as a single. We did the video. It blew up, right? And so now I get a call to be on the 2001 album.
Yeah.
He calls me in. He's like, listen.
The Chronic 2000.
The Chronic. Well, it was the Chronic 2000.
Okay.
And then Death Row tried to put out the Chronic 2000, and then that's what he just called it Chronic 2001. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah. And so once I got the call to be on the 2001, it was the song "What's the Difference?" And then from there, and then we did some LA Niggas. I was on there twice, right? Oh, 3 times, because I did the intro to the album too with Trey D.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trey D.
Trey D, the general.
Come on, man.
And so then it was like, okay, then I got invited to, be part of the Up and Smoke tour. And there was a decision, like Dre always talks to you like you can say no. You know what I'm saying? He gives you an options. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, either you could open up 20 minutes before Warren G, or you can have 3 songs on my set. And I was like, oh, yeah, let me think. You know what I'm saying? The 3 songs on your set. And so we ended up, doing that tour, and it was just like, rocket fuel. We came home from that tour and dropped Restless, which is, at the time was the biggest record of my career.
Xzibit is here, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You talk about, play this at my funeral. You talk about hitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. When was rock bottom for you? When was that time period?
Well, let me tell you why I talk like that.
Okay.
A lot of people there's more people that are going through difficult times than not.
Okay.
And I feel like if I could be vulnerable and talk about not only the good times but the bad times as well, then I'm relating to my audience in a way that they feel the realness of it. Because I've always been able to put myself into my music, like a foundation, talking about the fear of being a young father and not knowing exactly what I'm doing, but I know I want to do things right. Paparazzi, how I felt about hip hop at the time, even though I didn't have experience in the industry, but this is what I love. This is how I feel about the music that I'm creating, and this is the beginning of my journey. So when I talk about rock bottom, it comes in different times. At the beginning, rock bottom was just not having any money or, just trying to survive. But then money came, and then it was different problems.
When did money come for you? Because the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Was it in the 90s that money came? Was it Pimp My Ride time?
No. It was once I was on Up and Smoke. Yeah, that was it.
That was it. Oh, okay, you ain't look back.
Yeah, it was houses and shit going on. It was a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And Open Smoke.
Yeah, multiple cars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Damn, that touring money, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
American Express cars start showing up, all type of shit. I was like, oh wow, okay. So this is what it's like. But I think rock bottom to me has been, being disappointed in people, in circumstances, putting too much value in things that I shouldn't have, you know, and a lot of the things that we put ourselves through mentally, usually people would kill to be in those spots.
Yeah.
Right. So, my perspective has changed on my rock bottoms. You know what I'm saying? I've been without. I've been broke before. You know, I've had a lot. I've lost a lot. I've got it back. I lost it again. You know what I'm saying? like that doesn't change. But my priorities and my expectation of myself has changed. You know, I want to be present for my friends and family. You know, I love what hip-hop has done for my life, but I don't want hip-hop to take my life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be present for my people. I want to see my children, you know, have children, and I want to be there. You know, I did a lot for, you know, in the name of providing for my family. And really what I realized is that time is the most important thing we have. You know, we don't know how much of it we have. You can see what you have in the bank. You can see, you know, how much gas you got in the tank, you know, but you don't know how much time you have. And so now being, you know, where I am, I want to be able to do what I need to do at a high level and then take my ass to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not hanging out. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to prove anything to anybody. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I survived. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I survived some shit. Like, and there's nobody in front of us to dictate how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. Yeah, we're the first. You know what I'm saying? That like in this space. You know what I'm saying? Like from my graduating class. So we got an example to set. You know, we have a bar to set. Nobody told us when to start. Nobody's gonna tell me when to stop. I'm gonna do it as long as my soul is telling me to do it. Right? And when I run out of that, then I will gladly, you know, go sit my ass down. But nobody's telling the Rolling Stones to stop touring. Nobody's telling, you know, them to get off stage or whatever. That only ageism exists in hip hop. Yeah. But now I feel strong enough that I don't care who you are, I will burn your ass down. You know what I'm saying? Like you motherfucking right. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that's it. I know what that is. I know what that is. But listen. I feel that way. Yeah. And I feel strong enough to come back in and do it like that. You know.
I love it, man. Exhibit, man. Yeah. Heather B, you just staring at him. Why you staring at him?
You know why? Because I'm listening to all of it at one time, and I don't. Have you ever been on this show? Have you ever been on Sway in the Morning?
No. I don't. No.
That's crazy.
That's what's tripping me out. I'm like, I'm hearing all of this at one time, and I'm blown away. And I'm stuck on the fact that you said you have nothing to prove, which is absolutely true. You've always been respected as an MC and a lyricist, no matter what coast, down south, whatever. You say Exhibit, you know what people are coming with. So then why, to me, you mentioned a while back, you weren't always able to make the kind of albums that you wanted to make. That bothers me. That bothers me as an artist. That bothers me as a lyricist, because I know the behind the scenes frustrations that we had with record labels. Right. You know, what were some of them for you? Because we didn't have the internet back then, so you couldn't talk about it. Right. We would hear about certain artists running up in the record label, right? We heard about that. I never heard about that from you. Yeah. So if you don't mind sharing, what was some of it? Because you still managed to put out great music. I would have never thought you were dealing with putting out records you didn't want to put out.
Oh, absolutely. That did happen.
Oh, you ran up. Okay. No internet.
Steve Rifkin.
You ran up on Steve?
Oh, yeah. But I love Steve. First of all, let me start with that.
All of our friends. Like, what do we do?
I love Steve.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start like this. Okay. And I'm going to answer that, but this is important to know.
Okay.
So when I first got signed to Loud Records, I was signed through a production company called Jack Move Productions.
Wow. Okay.
You know what Jack Move means?
Jack Move Production.
The name spoke for itself.
Yeah, James Broadway and some other guy, and he had me and King T. And King T had just put out his record on MCA, King T for Life. So, it was $150,000 for the entire album budget.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, literally, right here on Santa Monica at Barney's Beanery, I got called there to meet Broadway and his partner. They literally handed me $15,000 in an envelope under the table, right? That was how I got signed to Loud Records. Now, fast forward, James Broadway and his partner got caught for embezzlement from MCA, so all they were void of their contracts. Nobody, but I had a production deal contract with Loud, so I was able to assume the rights. They didn't expect me to read it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Wow.
So I read the contract and I was exercising the rights. They didn't like that. So I'm trying to navigate, and that's why I was able to use all the other producers that I went. I got Diamond D. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went and I put together the record that I could. Now, when I say I was trying to make records and it was the first one that I did from top to bottom, there was always something wrong with the record. Either some of the mixes were shot, or some of the, or something didn't get cleared, or somebody overcharged me for something, or an A&R is just renting cars in New York and my budget's spent. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, but I didn't do this for money, right? I didn't do this like a come up. Like if I was in the street, I was hustling, so I know how to go make some bread. I was doing this because I loved it, and now people are excited about the art that I'm making. So I never brought my personal stuff to the office. I was never the one to get in front of the audience and they did this to me and they did this to me.
Right.
I've never been that guy. I feel like if you can't deal with it, behind the scenes and then have a united front and when you come outside, then you're not built for this, people bleeding and emoting all over the place about the industry. It's just, it don't get you nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fix it. Or punch somebody in the face, one of the two. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we don't want to hear it. Yeah. We're here to hear some good ass vibes and some good ass music. Now, as things started progressing and going on, me and Steve had our tug of war. When Dre and Jimmy tried to get me over there to Interscope, he said no. He tried to, overcharge him for it. So, but Dre was like, fuck that. I'm still going to work with you anyway, which is fucking 100% solid. I'm the only artist that has been able to get Dr. Dre to executive produce albums outside of his productions house and distribution circle. I was never on Interscope. I was never on Aftermath. But people would think I was, right? Yeah. But that's that kind of brotherhood and unity that I showed with Dre. Now, one day I was in L.A. shooting something with Dub C. I never forget.
Shout out to Dub C.
Right, and Steve was here. He didn't think I was in town. I was like 5 minutes away, and he said some high powered shit to me, and I said I just hung up, and I left the shoot. I left in the middle of the shoot. And I drove straight to that office, and I walked in his office, and him and Mojo was in there, and I was going about fire on this motherfucker, and then he was like, oh, X. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And from that day, you needed key cards to get into Loud after that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do a queue, you know what I'm saying? But I ran up in there.
You ran up.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's been ups and downs, and there's been like things that that were out of my control.
Yeah.
Like for example, like I did a song with Timberland.
Yeah.
That was set up through Sony. That was on the Hey Now record. I love Timberland, but I didn't, and that was Kerry Hilson on there with me, right? I hated that record. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to. It was too poppy. It was like hey now, hey. It was like they were pushing for that, but I was gonna get there in my way, but they were pushing in another direction. And it was just like the compromise to put that record out was for Sony, you go with this record or we, gonna half-ass everything else you do. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? But that was my last major label situation, and then I went independent and started, that path that way. So it's never been an easy ride. It's never been easy. Yeah. But you just make it, you make it so that you limit the kind of drama that your audience has to digest and just give them the talent, Yeah. And we'll fix the stuff behind the scenes. And so, yeah, the fact that I'm here and able to drop a new record in 2025.
Crazy.
That's why I feel so strongly about what we've created here.
Kingmaker, man. Yeah. Man, I love this. Xzibit is here, man. About to fire on Steve Riff, man. You can't hit Steve Riff.
And I can't.
Man.
I can't. I love him, man.
He
didn't know
he was in town, so that's a warning for everybody. You don't know where people be at. Stop talking shit. Run up there. Pull up. See, that's the real pull up.
That's the real pull up. Was Pimp My Ride your most lucrative venture at its
No.
time? It wasn't. How not? Was it?
Man, you know what time it is, man.
He over there playing, and he was at MTV too. Shut up.
Dealing with Viacom, MTV.
Right.
Let me tell you. I'm gonna say this. Let me tell you how they did it. And this is the thing, what people don't understand. Your perception of success and what success actually is are two different things. So when we got on MTV, I think the agent that I was with accepted some bullshit ass deal. We didn't know it was going to be what it was. It was like $5,000 an episode.
Okay.
One of them.
One of those, yeah.
I thought they were going to play my music videos, but obviously they didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But let me tell you how scandalous it got. So we do this show. They put us on at 11 o'clock at night. It starts blowing up. They start moving us forward. So now we're part of this, like, we're with Punk'd.
Prime time.
Yeah, it's prime time. It's MTV, right? And so they keep me as the host, and, West Coast Customs is his own garage, and, they don't want to negotiate with me, so we don't have any kind of strength or leverage, so they divided us, you know what I'm saying? So they were happy with what they were doing, and they didn't want to reveal to me what they were doing, and so I was just kind of stuck on my own, right? So they kept me in this little box, even though the what made the show was built on my back, right? You know what I'm saying?
You made it popular.
Correct. And so as things started going, I was just like, I was not happy, you know what I'm saying, because I'm not able to tour. I'm not able to go out and do other things this is like a problem. So they keep like inching it up a little at a time, little at a time. And if you remember, that wasn't the big deal. I think where the coconut started shifting was, and you're gonna understand this. My deal with Viacom and MTV and Pimp My Ride was to get, they knew they were paying me shit. So they was like, okay, you can get 15% of all merchandise and things, that you do, and they try to sweeten it, right? So fine print says 15% for with anything that includes your name and likeness.
With Pimp My Ride.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first season, you look at the box, my face is on it. Every season after that, it's just a car.
Wow.
Yo.
Yeah, they took it. They took, and then remember, if in the episodes, that'd be like after I'm Mr. X to the Z Xzibit, and then they would play one of my songs.
Yeah.
When they went to syndication around the planet, they edited my music out, so they didn't have to.
So they didn't have to pay you.
To pay me. Yeah. Yeah. So now I'm looking, and then the little Viacom papers they send you, the little thing. Yeah. You see this huge number that just goes all the way across the thing, and it gets down. Then your piece is like
that little bitty
$150.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't a good feeling, but what I was able to create from that was something special, like being a global brand, and then it's up to you to fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? I could have been and crashed out and and did all kinds of stuff and and ruined it, which I'm pretty sure they prefer I would have did that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to dismiss me at that point. But I ain't gotta say nothing but what happened. Now you didn't expect me to be able to pivot from that and still keep going. And so that's the thing. It's like a love-hate thing with Pimp My Ride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
And I do have inside, knowledge of. I worked there 20 years.
Yeah.
So, everybody,
it's fucked up.
They do not do friendly contracts
for
people they consider to be talent. But the global visibility, the global branding. That you received, I know, because I would travel to different countries, and people thought me and you hung out together because I was on MTV, right? I was like, "Where's Xzibit? Is Xzibit with you?" I'm like, "Damn, I could call him," But I was able to take that global branding
and do something else with it.
With it, right?
Correct. And that's the thing. Like I've always, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I'm not going to sit there and bitch and moan about it. Yeah, I was angry. I was upset. It was done dirty. I'm human, right? But I didn't stew in it, and I didn't sit in it. you know, and it's just like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like I'm not going back and trying to fight about scraps. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
None of those people that did that shit to me at the time are working in that system. None of them.
Yeah.
They had a job. I have a career.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Big difference. Xzibit is here, man. And what a career he has.
Yes.
What was your first movie? Was it 8 Mile, or what was the first movie you did?
The first movie. Okay. The first movie with my name on it. It was Triple X2.
Triple X2.
Yeah, with Ice Cube. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'd done like cameos and other stuff.
Yeah.
But that was the first one where I was casted in the film straight up. Yeah.
What did Ice Cube say to you that, you know, behind closed doors? Because he was Ice Cube, Will Smith, these LL, these are some of the first rappers to really go into Hollywood. Did he pull you aside and say,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
like, don't fuck this up type? Or did
Oh, no. It's funnier than that.
Okay.
It's better than that. First thing we did, first day of shooting, it was the scene where we're driving through the warehouse in the chase scene, the truck scene where we're on our way to the Capitol. I'm excited. You know, it's an action movie. Cube is sitting in the passenger seat. I'm driving. And so action. So I'm, you know, we taking corners. You know, I'm doing like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm going like this. I'm excited. I'm action star. It's Cube right here. We got it. You good? Yeah. Right? Cut. So we sitting there. Cube is chilling. He says, "Hey, you really drive like that?" I was like, I was like, that wasn't good. He's like, show me how you drive. Literally, he's like, show me how you drive. And I put a hand on, and I was like that. He's like, yeah, you ain't doing all this. You know, you ain't driving like Batman. You look like Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like the TV show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he was like, lesson one, less is more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what you think it look like, it don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, less is more. So the next shot is like I'm just kind of, and it, you know, and then now it fit. Now I'm getting the feel of it. You know what I'm saying?
Feeling natural.
Everybody think they can act until it's really time to act. You know what I'm saying?
To act, right? Now it feels natural, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the first interaction I had on set with Cube, and then it was like a constant like, and when I look, the difference between making films and being on TV is like when you're in somebody's living room, your face is like the size of this, you know, water bottle. But when you're on a screen, your face is like 30, 60 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know how to use that motherfucker, you look, you know, you're like Will Smith, like Will Ferrell. I don't know what to do with my hands. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't know what to do.
You don't know what the hell you're doing. So I looked at that movie and I was like, oh shit, it was an offer, so I didn't have to audition. I was just like, oh, I got this. I don't got this. You know what I'm saying? I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, Hollywood's going to give me enough rope to pull myself up or hang myself.
Yeah.
So let me go take this serious. I started taking acting classes. I started doing plays. I started like really immersing myself into the work. And then from that point, I gained my confidence to be like, I don't want no more offers. I want to go straight to the room and get the audition. I want to beat the other actors out in their element.
Wow.
Right? And so that's how I started getting the bigger roles and the different roles. Because I don't want, it's easy to get thug number one. I could probably go outside and get cast as thug number one right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But to be cast as an FBI agent or a football coach or, you know, something that is outside of my wheelhouse is something I had to work at. And that's what I strive to do in film.
Xzibit, I'm really proud of you, man. To see you next to Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Yo, that's one of my favorite people on the planet,
man, absolutely.
Yeah, that dude is a really good guy. I like how he runs his life. I like how he shares with his audience, with his fans. Yeah. You know, he said something to me on one of the interviews we did. He remembered coming up and us giving him a shot and putting him on the platform. What was it like working with him behind the scenes?
A genuine spirit.
Right.
Like authentic all the way through and through. Super hard. He ain't no punk, but he's got a certain type of, you know, aura around him that just attracts positive energy. And working with him, super sense of humor, very witty.
Did you audition for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for that. It was awesome, man. And to work with him, and you know, I have a certain place in my heart for that movie because, you know, that was filmed at a real juvenile detention center. I spent like 2 years in the detention center when I was a kid. So I had a connection with this story and a connection with the kids that were there because there were still kids housed there while we were filming. And it was crazy to be in that environment and tell that story because I overstood it. I knew exactly where they were coming from, and The Rock just made them feel like they were not less than him. You know, he's a huge star already, and he got even bigger after that. But that was one of the ones where, you know, I knew I was doing on the right path.
Yeah. Say the name of the movie.
Gridiron Gang.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. When you talk like this, I think about Tremaine because I remember when your son was first born, right? And now his son is starting to. He's an MC too.
Yeah, Trey Capital.
Capital. Shout out, tell him you ain't an MC, Trey Capital, till you come to the Valley of the Hyenas. All right, you pretending until you come up here, like your dad did.
Let's go.
Okay.
No, he got bars. He got bars. Yeah.
He got bars.
He got bars. Yeah.
You're a dad, bro.
Yeah. Listen,
what
listen.
me?
I'm a
Don't
dad,
I?
but I'm an MC first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're an MC before
MC
you a
first.
dad.
Yes.
Wow.
In that order.
Where, is he on the West Coast?
Yeah, he's here.
Bring him up.
Okay. Yeah.
Put him to the test. Let him go through what you had to go through on the Wake Up Show to get to where you are.
Oh yeah. But he gets down. He gets down.
He gets down?
Yeah. We went through the tug of war thing, where you know, I don't need you, Dad. You know, I'm gonna do it on my own, Dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, bro, we got a whole spaceship that you can just hop in and just go up there.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna do it myself. And so he had to go through a and I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
You know, because he went out there and he was like, you know, he got to see it and he went through it and built his sound the way he did it outside of me. Now he's feel comfortable enough to come in and take direction and understand that I'm trying to, you know, not change his style but make it, you know, so that it could be polished. You know what I'm saying? And he's taking that direction and went up with it. Yeah.
I love when our kids decide to tap into
Tap
into this nepotism.
Yeah.
Get into our resources, man.
Exactly.
Successful folks do that all the time
Absolutely.
for their kids, right?
Absolutely.
Tracy's in New York. Tracy, I've been seeing you with a smile on your face this whole time. You want to chime in?
Absolutely, because this is an incredible conversation, X. I hope that you start to do speaking tours of such as well, because it's not only, in what you've been able to create with your life, but it's also your reflections and the gems that you're able to dig up even from the moments that were painful. And you know, you said something that's been stuck in my mind when you were talking about Saafir, and you mentioned how you had always wanted to be in a group. And I found that so interesting because oftentimes we'll hear about folks, even those who were in groups, saying that they always wanted to be solo, but they ended up in a group, like, accidentally. Can you speak about, one, why you wanted to be in a group, and also just the camaraderie that clearly you crave within this game that's so competitive?
Yeah, I'm. You know, as a solo artist, it's easy to kind of go anywhere you want to go. But when you're in a group setting, it's about harmonizing. It's about making sure that everybody is on the same page and everybody's producing at the same outlet with the same output. and I grew up looking at groups like the Def Squad, NWA, Cypress Hill, Poor Righteous Teachers, Stetsasonic, Eric B. and Rakim. You know, it was always Batman and Robin, you know what I'm saying? Or it was like, you know, the Super Friends or whatever. I always felt like I wanted to exist in that. And even as a solo artist, you know, going into a group, even though it would be in reverse, because usually you see the group happen and the solo come from that. But I always wanted to be part of a group. You know, they wouldn't let me in Alcoholics, even though I was around the Alcoholics.
And an alcoholic.
And the alcoholic. Yeah.
Wow.
And, you know, and it was just, and that didn't work. And
Why they wouldn't let you in, though?
No, it was just like they was already set.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
it was already set. J. Rotash, E. Swift, that was the Alcoholics.
Okay.
right? I mean, I was honorary member. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a crew. You know, that's where the far right came from. That's where I came from. So I always wanted to be in a group. And then when that didn't work out, and then the Golden State didn't work out, it was just like, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. So, but then, you know, like me, Be Real, and Demrick have a group called the Serial Killers that we've been doing, and I was like, that's where it is. It landed there, so I'm happy with that. It worked out.
All three of y'all ill ass MCs too.
Yeah.
Xzibit is here. I want to play another song off the album. Where you want to go with it?
Let's go Everywhere I Go.
Everywhere I Go?
Everywhere I Go.
Everywhere I Go. Talk to us about that while John said it.
Yo, check this out. This is produced by Dem Joints. It is the actual second song on the album, so right now we listening in order. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, hit that Spotify, search Xzibit, hit that pre-save button. You will not be disappointed. Produced by Dem Joints, featuring Dem Joints on the hook. Everywhere I Go. Kingmaker.
Shade 4-5. Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing greatness.
Wow. Thank you, brother, man.
As it happens.
Thank you, brother.
X, you know, certain people, man, that just hold a place in my heart.
Yeah.
You know, you one of them, you know.
Likewise, man.
Yeah.
Likewise, man. Like, we didn't know what we were doing while we were doing it. And here we are. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
A lot of us aren't, you know? And that's not a dig. You know, like, you start understanding your mortality and understanding what life is really about. Yeah. And the backdrop has been this thing of ours, this hip-hop, you know what I'm saying, this music, the soundtrack to our lives. And we've been blessed enough to, like, exist in it and see the growth and see things happen around us and to us. But to see you shining and see you still here and dedicated to the craft, that you like, if it was about money, it would have been over a long time ago.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
Yeah, but I like alchemy. I like being able to create something out of thin air and then people appreciate it and be able to understand, like, this is one thing that I don't have to. I understand it. It's in me. It's in my DNA. I know it. I know when I see something real. I know when I see something fake. You can't tell me nothing different. You know. So it's lovely.
That's interesting that you said that, and I don't think any artist could have summed that up better. When you came in earlier, before we went live, you had mentioned Redman, and you said, I heard you on the Redman track.
Come on, man. Heather B.
No, thank you.
No, Jersey.
Come on now.
But it's for those reasons that you said. Like, we're blessed. I don't have to do music full time anymore to sustain, you know, to have this life, this gift called life. But it's Reggie, it's Redman, that's my brother and everything, yes, but it's what he means to the culture of hip hop. It's what he was trying to do, his vision. It's never been done to have that many artists from Jersey on a song together. It's not about money. It's not about money. Reg, I got you. You know I don't do this. He's one of my brothers that comes to my house. You know, I ain't thinking about making no records. But for you, for what you're doing, for what you're trying to do, I have to respect it. We have to. If Premier calls you, like you said about Dre, you have to. It's just because of who they are and what they've done, their contribution. And I've never heard it put that way. We said it, but that's exactly how I felt when Reggie reached out. It's just certain people. You have to honor Eric Sermon, Premier. You got to do it for those people. You have to honor it because of what they put in. If I grew up with your poster on my wall, that meant something. Absolutely. I don't care if Salt and Pepper decide to become exotic dance rappers. They need a backup dancer. I'm there. Like it's just because of what they done. It's just a respect. Like you said, you're a fan first. You come in. We all came in as fans.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We came in as fans first, and so we have to honor the Big Daddy Kanes, the Rakims, the KRSs, people out. The Saafir. It's like you have to do that, and it's so important. And I'm glad you put it that way because it sums up so much that we haven't been able to verbalize, you know?
Man, those times will never be repeated. The hip hop has grown. It's by leaps and bounds. It started with very bare minimum. We did what we had. We worked with what we had.
Yeah.
And then it turned into hundreds of thousands, into millions, into billions, into who knows where it's going to go.
Trillions.
Yeah, it's going to go there. It is arguably the largest, music genre on the planet. It's bigger than rock. It's bigger than pop. It's bigger than it's incorporated in everything. Right. And everybody. But the trade-off is that everybody thinks they can do it. You wouldn't go down to an NFL field and put on a helmet and think you can hit with the boys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Put your ass in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But hip hop it's we've been inclusive to a fault. You know what I'm saying? We make everything but don't own shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like but that's the thing. That's us though. Like we like creating things. We like the culture of it. We like the rhythm of it. Is it tight? Is it put together right? I didn't start. It's called the music business for a reason. I didn't pay attention to the business side until I realized it wasn't right.
Right. Yeah. Something ain't adding up. Yeah.
And then when you start looking at that too long, it steals the joy out of what you get from being here, and then it shuts the creative down. Yep. So if you can realize that's what's going to happen to you, because it happens to everyone, then you realize what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? Once I realized that's what I was looking at, it's like I still love it. I was able to make that. I still love it. So let me work out what's going on. Yeah, I took a lump here, but that's my fault. Because I didn't do it. I didn't pay attention. I could point fingers all day long. And, well, he did this and he did that. But really, just like I read my contract in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Like when it got good, I should have kept reading. I should have kept going. It just had that as part of it. Yeah. Right? But then you trust people. Back in the day, if you had a business manager, a manager,
an attorney,
attorney, then you had you was a real rapper.
You
know
got
what I'm
the whole rap kit.
Yeah, you was a real rapper. But like I said, them motherfuckers got jobs. You could fail and they can find somebody else and still keep working.
Yeah.
Facts.
They got a check coming in.
Yeah.
And I think in our case too, we were all so young doing it, and it was coming at a rapid rate.
We started in a room that was a third of this size.
Yeah.
And people were just trying to go for it, man. Yep. And to see the things that have happened, the people that stuck with it, the people that stick through it, the people that survived the storms, and brought this culture and now we are the gatekeepers. We're the decision makers. That is a great fucking feeling. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
A beautiful feeling.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, man. This Xzibit, man. Tracy G is right. You should do the talking tour.
Yeah.
But you know what this is about. Just like when you first came up on the world-famous wake-up show with Sway Tech, Carmelita.
I knew it was coming.
And DJ Revolution.
Come on.
Come on, Xzibit. We done expanded the boundaries. You're not just at the wake-up show.
Yeah.
You in the Valley of the Hyena. Yo, John, drop a beat on him.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. There we go. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Turn it down. Gotta have the ear for the king to rise to the top and pull strings. Ain't no in between. You niggas know exactly what I mean when the pawns get lucky and start to close in on the queen. Don't let these hoes build your self-esteem, taking out the old regime like the Marines. I did numbers without the machine, just faith in the backwood. These motherfuckers ain't that hood, they just act good. Yeah, the return of the exile, the X-Files, the X-Men, I X'd out. Of all your bullshit conversations, I ain't gonna sue you, I'll kill you over that defamation. Put some respect on my name, baby. All three of y'all Neanderthal, you waited for my tree to fall. But nah, I just circle back for all of y'all. My term to sound of my that is the Molotov. Ever ask yourself how much a dollar costs? Is it worth your soul? Niggas hate themselves and then to top it off, y'all be paying for bottom feeders to top you off. Motherfuckers make some noise.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We got a hyena up in here. X to the Z.
Hold on. Keep it going. Like my coffee black, like my heart and soul. Even though my childhood was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. High with the hell, but it led to a pot of gold. You can't build a foundation if it ain't up to code. So what the fuck you think we headed for? Some type of paradise, some glorified afterlife? They trying to beat us with pandemics and parasites, satellites, dirty water and dirty Sprite. But let me keep it G for my niggas. Break change ain't free for a nigga. My ex-bitch called TMZ on a nigga. Try to leave my world disfigured, go figure. Gold diggers, gorillas, go getters. I ain't finished, buckle up and roll with us. I ain't none of these old niggas. I'm about to leave with like 9 to 10 figures, let's go.
Let's go. Keep it going, Woo. We got X to the Z in the building right now. We got a superior MC up in here. We got a hyena up in here.
Hi.
Oh, man.
You breaking shit, Sway.
That's how we always did it. That's how we always did it.
Wow.
Your raps ain't right. Your raps ain't right. You whack MCs.
Yo, I still love it, man.
Oh
I still
my
love
God,
it, bro.
Man, you still got bars.
I still love it, man.
You make epic movies with your verses now, bro. That shit was like, yo, Heather stood up and started saluting you for no reason.
That's like, yo, you need to. I hope you doing animation, bro. That voice is wow.
Yo, man.
Anime, all of it.
You gotta
wow.
see him when he rapped, though, man.
For
I
real.
can't wait to put this out, man. Xzibit is here, man. I love you, brother. That was dope,
too,
man.
Thank
Come
you,
on.
man.
I'm gonna take a couple calls real quick. Novi in Las Vegas. Go ahead, man.
Novi.
What's good, y'all? Sway, Heather B, Tracy G-A-X.
Yo.
Man, I literally, I was on my way to make this delivery, right, downtown Las Vegas.
That's right.
I couldn't drive under the conditions because listening to everywhere I go, it did something to me. It's no way in hell that you still have that voice, still got the energy, still got the power. It's so incredible, dog. And it's like, Dem Joints, I'm hating them because I'm a producer myself, and they really did a great job on that.
Yeah,
really
thank you,
a great
man.
job.
Yeah, thank you, man. I
I
love
really
it, man.
appreciate you, X, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you, man. And then what you just did, it just confirmed for me, like, okay, they definitely going to hear what I got to say, and they definitely going to hear my beats.
Yeah,
So
man,
I'm
come
saying,
on, man.
It's
Yeah.
Nov 9, ITSNOV9, and I got to send you some joints too, man.
Okay,
Straight up.
Send them.
Send them, man.
Send
Hey,
'em.
man, you're a super citizen,
Straight
man.
up.
Yeah.
All right, man.
That's Sway in the
Appreciate it.
morning.
We got Sneed from New York on the line.
What
Sneed,
up,
what up?
Sneed?
Sneed.
Yo, what up? Good morning. Salam alaikum.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks to you too, brother. Go for
How
it.
you doing?
Excellent.
First of all, I want to say I apologize to the guy that took the phone call. Like you said, Xzibit, you're an honorary member. I always thought you was a member of the Alcoholics. But nevertheless, thank you for getting back with the project, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yo, all I want to say is much blessings. I appreciate you coming back in the game, coming out of retirement, if you ever was in retirement, and playing your part to the culture. That's what we need.
Yeah.
MCs, brothers who deliver messages, you know.
Yeah, I
and
appreciate
the other
it, yeah.
thing is that, no doubt, and we got to start owning our shit, all the way down to the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Sneed.
Yeah.
Hey, Sneed, man, thank you, man, for your call, brother. Make you sure. Hey, listen, go ahead and pre-order the album.
Yeah, pre-save it. Right now it's on
Pre-save
it.
Spotify. Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing one thing at a time, making sure it's set up right.
Okay. You did it already, Sneed?
Already did it, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
My
See
bad.
you all morning.
Sneed, you're a citizen.
And a
Sneed.
real one, a
Okay.
Sway in the morning.
Okay.
We got Doza from Dallas on the line. You see, they all over the country
Come
right
on,
now.
man.
Doza, go ahead.
Hey, how we doing? You've got to pimp my ride. Man, that was my shit. But hey, one thing that I was reminiscing on is, man, your name was on one of the greatest games ever, NFL Street 2.
Yes.
And we've had like 4 different consoles come out since that game was out. When is that coming back, X?
I have no control over that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I was the first. But what's interesting about that game is I was the first non-athlete that was on that game. That was on the cover.
Yeah.
What was the game?
NFL Street 2.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah, and Def Jam, Fight for New York.
Uh-huh.
All those type of that was like that was another affirmation that we were on the right track. Like people were taking our likeness and images and putting it into different forms of entertainment. You know?
That went
dope.
to like the Saints Row type stuff. Like what a big change that you brought just from one game, and you're not even an athlete.
Yeah,
you know? That's pretty crazy.
Well, he's athletic though. What was the business dealings with that? They pay you a fee or a licensing fee?
Yeah, licensing fees, something like that. Listen, it wasn't life-changing money, but it was part of the culture. Like things that I'm interested in, I'm all for it. Like I said, I don't do it for money. You know what I'm saying? Like I play video games. Yeah. And I was like really into that. So why not? I had an interest in it. As long as you keep it in that and not doing things that are outside of your character and outside of your wheelhouse, then that I feel good about it.
All right, hey Doza, thanks for your call. You're a super citizen, man.
Sway in the morning.
I'll be remiss, man, if I don't ask you. I've been a Conor McGregor fan.
Yes.
Yo, I watch UFC. We done had Anderson Silva. We done had John Jones. We done had, Mighty Mouse. We done had everybody on this show. Same with boxing, the whole nine. I thought Conor was always a marketing genius in that field. When did you first meet Conor McGregor?
Man, Greenback Records, first of all, everybody has horror stories of, athletes starting record labels. Yeah. It's not always the best thing. But when we were finishing the record was already done before we met. Kingmaker was already in the process of we finishing touches. And so Bobby D, shout out to Bobby D Presents, he's the management company along with Tato and the rest of the team. He was like, Conor reached out and said that he's starting a record label and they know we just was reaching out and taking feelers and they want to hear the record. So I was like, Conor McGregor, like the fighter guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does he know about music? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does he know about music? So I was like, oh, yeah, just send it to him, see what it says. They came back and was like, yo, this is the best record that you've ever done. Like, we've been fans of you for a long time, but we know your catalog. Like, we want to be involved. So Conor McGregor doesn't need to eat off rap. Let me start there.
Yeah.
So the way our partnership is like nothing I've ever experienced. Okay. And so then I got to fly out and see his team. Now, we went to Ireland first, and then we met all of his team. And first we had met his his investment team, the people that work with him on like his alcohol brands, the bare knuckle boxing, the bare knuckle fighting championships, his UFC career, everything Conor McGregor. He has a certain group of guys that he works with, and then I saw what their mission was, and they started pulling like people that were experienced in the record industry and bringing them over there and building this like new thing. And for me, I didn't want to, because I looked at everything. I looked at the major. I looked at what La Russell's doing. Shout out La Russell.
Yeah, shout out La Russell. Bay Area.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I looked at what I looked at Independence. I had done stuff with Empire and all that stuff before. It just all looked like all the same thing again. Yeah. And then, jaded people, they just gonna push you to the side or make me jump through hoops I don't need to jump through. So my whole idea was like, how do I shoot over niggas' heads? You know what I'm saying? How do I cut through the noise? How do I put this music out without compromising or being part of the circus? And so I was like, I need something louder than the noise. And whether you love him or hate him, Conor McGregor's gonna cut through. You know what I'm saying? He's louder than noise. Yeah. And so, then I saw the vision of what they were doing with the label. It's not just a hip hop label. It is for independent artists looking to come to a safe place to create and not get robbed and worry about all that.
So the deal structures are different.
It's right down the middle from $1.
Okay.
Yep.
Right down the middle from
$1. Periods. Point blank.
Can't ask for more than that.
Can't do that.
So Conor's always been a hip hop head.
Absolutely.
I remember when him and Mayweather were doing the tour.
Yeah.
Right. And I was one of the hosts in Brooklyn at the Barclays, I think it was. Me and Horace went. Right.
Absolutely.
Conor came, walked by me.
Yeah.
I'm a Mayweather guy. Yeah. So you know what I mean. So, but I love Conor, right? And I just knew that what are they doing? But this is fun.
Yeah.
You know, but I got to see him in person, and I got it as soon as I saw him in person.
Yeah, man, dude. He you know the way he explains it. I was gonna play a message, but I'll just wait.
No, go ahead, play it. I want to hear it.
Yeah. I gotta find it. I gotta find it. It's dope.
Okay.
It's dope. But you know, he's like he hits me and he's like, "Oh, how do you exhibit your music is therapeutic? It's you know this album is going to be your best and buckle up." You know, he promoted it like a fight.
Yeah.
Like we going to Marbella, Spain, and he's incorporating his audience and merging my audience into it, and we're creating this new thing, and you know, it feels good to be able to just do what I came to do.
Yeah,
you
bro.
know, and not have to play politics with somebody or be second fiddle because their bread and butter from the label is coming from a different place. Like Bone is on there, Bone Thugs and Harmony. All 5 members are together on Greenback Records.
Wow,
that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's pulling people together and giving them the environment that we need to be in. And that's why the music is coming out the way it is. I mean, like he's not in our way. He's not trying to be in the music videos and doing all that shit.
Not on no interludes.
Yeah, no interludes, no none of that.
Get him on the interlude.
Yeah,
though,
I mean, at the best is, I guess, you know, being able to incorporate some of the music into some walkouts, or you know what I'm saying. But everything he does requires music. Whether he's training, whether he's in a place, or whether he's throwing an event, he needs music, and he wants to have that as part of his wheelhouse as well. And I'm glad to be part of it.
Why don't you find that message, and then we gonna.
Oh yeah.
You got the Ice Cube joint, John?
Yeah.
John got it.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna play a song that's never been
That's
heard
right.
before.
It's coming. It's supposed to come out this Friday, but brother, you have to play it first.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
All right, we gonna do that.
This is a bucket list moment for me.
Okay.
I've done a lot of work with Cube, you know, but this is his first time on my project, and I did a song on his last project called "Break the Mirror." We've been on tour last year. We got to work with him in that aspect, so it's good to be on the film and TV stuff. That was good, but to work with Cube, one of my heroes, icons in this music thing, and then be on tour with him has been amazing. So my man Big Duke did this beat. It's called For the Love. It's dropping this Friday. Right here from Kingmaker is me and Ice Cube, For the Love.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy right there.
Brother, this fucking music you're releasing is fucking game changing. Do you understand that? There's people that don't know their next move, yeah? And they're just don't know how to do it. Or they might have had something going on and then you're leading the way on this. You are the leader, yeah? And I'm fucking buzzing for you, mate. You've got talent and skill for days. I've been listening to that song over and over, mate. It's therapeutic. Your music is therapeutic. And I'm with you all the way, bro. This is the biggest success. We want this the biggest success you've had ever.
That's Conor McGregor, right?
Wow.
You hear that, Tracy?
That's dope.
He said it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
Therapeutic. Yo, man, get Conor on the show for me, man.
I got you, man. No problem.
Tell Conor,
no
man.
problem, man.
I'd like to meet him. I met him, but he don't remember that.
It's exciting times, man.
Yeah.
It's dope to be able to, have the kind of momentum we have. It's not easy. A lot of people from our graduating class get discouraged.
Yeah.
From actually showing their art because they think it's going to get drowned out. But don't worry about that. Like, our path is laid. You got to remember, we come from a place where, buying music was not an option at that time. People had to get up, get dressed, go to go out of their house, go to a record store, find the record, make sure it was there, purchase it, go home, and have that experience. So hard copies and the investment, not just the financial investment, but the investment of time, energy, and knowing exactly when it was, it's not as simple as a search and click.
Yeah.
So we got a different type of fan base. Those people are still alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are still here. They may have families. They may have things that they already working, doing differently in life, but their taste in music is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Do it for them. Like, give it to them. Like, if you go to my IG, for Kingmaker, I made cassettes.
Yeah.
I made CDs and I made vinyl as well. You can go and order it right from the site. Diggers, you know what I'm saying? They put it together for us. But there's still people that want that, you know. Am I expecting to go out here and be, you know,
quadruple
platinum, 75 million copies sold?
Yeah.
No. You know what I'm saying? It'd be nice, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not here expecting that. I'm doing it because I know that the people that want to hear me and the people that want to see me, I need to give them the best version of me possible. I did that with the music, and now we're going out and give this the best opportunity it has to be successful. And I'm gonna be happy with wherever this lands.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Congratulations, X.
Hey, come
Yo,
on,
man. You
Yeah.
made it, brother. Making it has nothing to do with the money or the accolades. Right?
Because to the first single.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a shame niggas in the rap game. Only for the money and the fame.
Yeah. That's the first single, bro.
First one.
Man, I love your peace of mind, the harmony you have, your understanding of life in your own career.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that King Tech and myself, Revolution, and Carmelita could be a part of that.
Yes.
You know, and man, I'm proud of you, brother.
Man, I'm proud of you too.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Thank you, man. You hear that, Heather? X proud of me.
Oh, please.
I'm proud of you too, Heather B.
I know. I already know, X.
Yo, you black. Hey, listen. I just did something with Redman. We had a listening party for Ambrosia for Heads.
Yeah.
And he played that song for me. The ladies on that record whooped ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
All Jersey sway. All Jersey.
The ladies tore it down.
Nikki.
That was Rod Digger, Nikki D, Lady Luck, Queen Latifah, and myself.
Yeah.
That's right.
Tore it down. They had Tretch, Vinny and Tretch was on there. You know what I'm saying? Lords of the Underground was on there.
Undergrounds, yeah. Big Shaq.
Oh, Shaquille.
Shaq came with it.
God, yeah, he killed
Shaq
it.
came with it, man.
With the spiders and the ghosts.
Yeah.
Haunted house. Red said, you got to have money to understand that line, nigga.
I love it, man. Hey, man, give it up for Xzibit. Okay, man. The new album, Kingmaker, coming out May 16th. You can pre-save right now.
Yeah, right now on Spotify. You know, you can go check out some of the songs we got on iTunes. But May 16th, hit that pre-save button. I'll see you guys out there.
That was Good News Thursday. We threw an audible. X came 90 minutes early. Yo, there's never been an artist that has come. John, have you ever seen such a thing?
It's all new to me.
Yeah. I get up early. You know what I'm saying? Dude, my day starts as, you know, I've been on a real health journey too, man. You know, I was looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I got like super out of weight, super overweight, like self-medicating, drinking, doing all this weird shit. And then it was just like I don't even feel like myself. So I kind of like pumped the brakes on a lot. And that was a whole part of like coming into this album cycle as well. Like I got me right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got me right.
That's where that clarity comes from.
Yeah. And now I feel like, okay, cool. I had to take that time because, you know, we do all this stuff, you know, trying to search for this finish line. But the finish line is not coming.
Yeah.
You know, you run your race until your race is run. And then it's just like Forrest Gump. It's like, okay, I'm going home now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
just out the blue, in the middle of a desert, I'm going home now.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I'm inspired by you.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. I can't wait to hear the full album. I'll come over. I'll come by the studio.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Okay.
Well, you back in the crib now.
I'm back in the crib now.
Hey, you smoking weed yet?
Nah, man.
Man, come on, Sway. God damn it.
Yo, I was the cleanest dude in hip-hop.
I know. And I still ain't seen you without a hat.
Damn.
Y'all know what? This cookout y'all about to have, I can't.
Yo, that's my brother right here, man. I can't wait to hang out, fam.
That's all good, man.
Okay, man. Give it up for Xzibit.